What's good, everybody? You already know who it is and what it is. And if you don't, it's the one and only one, Fleet Boy Jetson. And you're watching Voice of the Heroes podcast. So if you're tuning in for the first time, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming interviews or discussions with your favorite heroes and villains from around the world. And today, we have a very special guest. She is one of one. That's right. She's done it all from behind the mic to in front of the camera to the director's chair. I'm not even bullishing. Acting, singing, producing, directing, writing, educating. I mean, she's been in projects like World's End, Show by Rock Stars, Superman, Guardians of the Galaxy, Beverly Hills Cop. Did you just hear me? Suicide Squad, Beast Tamer, The Apothecary Diaries, Fruit of Evolution. And did I mention she was also in the biggest superhero movie in the world? I think I did. But for those who didn't catch that, she's also in Superman. Let's welcome Giovannie Cruz to the show. How you doing?
Hi.
I know it was a bit much, but hey, you've been
No,
putting in the
I know.
work.
Hearing all of that repeated, I'm like, I guess I do all that. That's true. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah,
I didn't
you got to talk. Hey,
feel that way.
this episode is to give you your flowers for all the talent you provided in all these shows. And mind y'all, we can't even get through her entire body of work, but we're going to try our best to get through some of them. Let's start off, like I said, with the biggest superhero movie in the world right now. It's flew into theaters, captured everybody's heart, brought back hope that we needed in such a dark time that
Mhm.
we are in, especially in the United States. James Gunn's first introduction to the DCU live action side of things. Man, what was that experience like?
Mm. Y- Gosh, that's such a loaded question. Incredible, amazing. Recently, not that long ago, some of the behind the scenes was released, um, where there was a video of James Gunn and David Cornsweet kind of going back and forth about the big Superman monologue, at the
Ooh,
end
Lex
of
Luthor.
no, David Cornsweet is Superman. So it's Superman and James Gunn, and it's when he's confronting Lex and he's like
Yeah.
"Man," and all of that. Yeah, that bit. And I was there for that exchange. I was, in the room, and that was like a 20-30 minute exchange, and it's just incredible watching it being played back, or that they captured that moment and it's now in a documentary about the or behind the scenes. And because it was all incredible. It was from the set. Beth Mickle, she did the set design, and to the costumes. Juliana and Michelle were on costumes, to like just being there with my friends. Some of my Guardian friends were back on set with this one. So it's like being with family, and then meeting new family. And of course, a lot of the people that are on set are James's people from other projects. So it's fun, crossing them from other projects and things like that. It's just incredible. Anytime you're on a James Gunn set, there's a kind of magic to it, and it's easy, on day 7 or day 8 to be like, oh, back at the job, back at work. And it's easy, but like then something will happen. Like somebody will walk in the door and you'll be like, oh my God, that was so and so from such and such. And they're just here watching James do work. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, there's something for them in the pipeline, or you know what I mean? Like it's incredible. It's just every day is magical. Every day.
Man, that had to be the most crazy experience ever because this is, the reboot of such a beloved franchise. Now we got the Snyderverse and we're jumping right into James Gunn's version, which is a lot more colorful, a lot more, some people had their gripes about it, but me personally, I love the movie. And I feel like the only people who had a problem with it was the Snyder fans because
Mhm.
of because the last iteration, yeah, that we had of Superman. But I truly feel like right now in this age, this is what we need. This is the Superman that we need, and Corn Sweat embodied that. And I ain't even gonna lie, it looked cool to see yourself and others controlling the clone. And like, how was that whole thing? Did you have fun yourself in that moment?
Oh yeah, it's so much fun, and but it's also work. So we're shooting the same thing over and over and over again from different angles, and you have to be on even if you're not on camera because you don't know at any moment. Henry was the cameraman. Henry could swing over and catch you, so you just never know. It's so funny. I was watching all the scenes that I'm in, and I was telling my family, I was like, if the camera had just gone a centimeter this way or a centimeter that way, you would catch me behind that person, or over here off frame or something, because everybody was on all the time. So yeah, it was work, but and we were on all the time, but yeah, just so much fun. And Nick as Lex Luthor is fucking goat. I mean,
Yeah,
is
he was
he
goaded, man.
good? He's probably, I think, my favorite. I think Rosenbaum from Smallville. He played Lex Luthor on Smallville. Was probably like my first favorite Lex Luthor, probably because he was like the most fleshed out. Because they had like seasons of a TV show,
Mm-hmm.
but then like Nick, not just because I worked with Nick, but just because truly he was just a really good Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? Like he didn't take himself too seriously, but he also like, had fun with the role. There were parts you could tell he's just having fun with the role, but yeah, he just delivered. He delivered so good.
I'll say this, and I'll die on that hill. Me personally, I feel like that part of the movie was the best part of the movie for me, especially the scenes you was in because so much happened, so much emotional acting. Even the comic relief when Crypto came in, like that was hilarious. Like the monologue, like you said, with Lex and Superman was amazing and heartfelt, and you felt it in the core of you. So for you to be a part of that, man, was magical. Now, I do want to say, right, you did say it felt like being around family on set. And I
Mhm.
think James Gunn has did a great job of casting and keeping people close that he's worked with on other projects, bringing them back. But I think that's goaded. Like, what's
Mm,
the old boy name? I forgot his name, man. Oh, they gonna kill me in the comments. That played
TDK.
Green Lantern, and he was
Oh
in all the other
yeah,
Guardian movies too. As
yes. He was TDK in Suicide Squad.
yeah, and then he was also the dude with like the muscle suit
The
in
Flash
Guardian.
in Guardians. He's on the Rookie, and you know what? I'm really good with names, but I'm really bad with names too. Let me see.
Oh, you don't feel bad. I'm right up there with you. I'm like the worst when it
Nathan,
comes.
Nathan Fillion. Yeah.
Nathan Fillion. Oh man, man, what a goated guy, man. I love that whole thing that James Gunn do. So I gotta ask you, right? Out of all the properties, because he brought you back from you've been on Suicide Squad,
That was the
Guardians
first.
of the Galaxy special, um, the volume 3, I believe, right?
Mhm.
And then now Superman.
Mhm.
What was the well, not the best, but what was your favorite film that you got to work on with James?
Mm. Guardians 3 will always hold a special place in my heart. I think it's because it was the longest I've ever spent on a set, period, point blank, even though it's not reflected on camera. You have to remember it was COVID times and
Mm-hmm.
we were in a bubble, so we couldn't really leave. And uh, that was that was truly, gosh, I mean, I think I was on camera probably 10 minutes total, but I was there for like months. I was there for months shooting and reshooting scenes because people got sick or we had to take different angles or whatever. And I got really, really close with my fellow castmates. And that was the first time that I think really felt I felt the magic of James Gunn on Suicide Squad, sure, but like Guardians was like the first time I really felt the magic of James Gunn, and got to meet his people. And we were on, like I said, I was there for months, in the bubble. So just being in the bubble with everybody, I don't know, it's just my favorite. Just because I don't, that's never gonna be again. You know what I mean? Like you can't replicate those circumstances. You never will. And so yeah, that was probably my most favorite.
I love that answer because that's my favorite James Gunn movie of out of all of them. It
Yeah.
actually grown ass man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, especially chat. You know me. I host a little tournament, right? A gaming tournament. And
Mhm.
every Thursday, when the movie comes out, when a new Marvel movie comes out, I treat it like an event. I cut
Mhm.
my streams. I tell them, hey, I'm not streaming today. I'm going. When I went to see Guardians by myself, I'm sitting there, mind you, it's kind of packed, right? And I'm seeing some of them scenes, and I'm starting, especially rocket scenes. James, my God, bro, that was messed up, man. I'm sitting there, lip starting to quiver, eyes tearing up. I'm like, oh wait. So for me, Guardians 3 is holds a special spot for me. I think it's the best Guardians movie out of the trilogy.
Mm.
And it was like almost like a goodbye letter to him from the Marvel universe because I'm a huge Marvel fan. So seeing being that I knew that was going to be his last project in the
Mhm.
Marvel cinema before he took over, like it left me a little empty. Like, no, don't go. But I am happy for DC because man, y'all got some great things in store for y'all, and I'm excited for the universe he's putting together. Now let's pivot towards anime a little bit. Like I said, not even in front of the camera. You do your thing behind the mic as well. Like you said, we had a little conversation off stream, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. She's had some pretty dope roles. You probably heard her in some of your favorite animes. One of them was Crunchyroll nominated anime of the year, The Apothecary Diaries. Tell us a little bit about your character in the anime.
Um, so in Apothecary Diaries, I voice a character named Hongniang, who is the head of household for one of the oh gosh, what do they call them? Part of the harem. See, I told you it was bad with names.
Hey, it's all right, but she's a part of the household. She's the
Yeah,
chief of
yeah.
police.
She's a part of oh gosh, what's the was it Lee?
What,
No, no.
feudal lords? No, not feudal lords.
Well, she's the so he's got three concubines,
Mm.
right? So in Apothecary Diaries, they're all in this, they're cloistered in this back court. And there are a bunch of concubines, but there are like three main concubines. And my character works for who ends up being like the main concubine. Spoiler alert.
Hey, let's go. Talk that talk.
She ends up becoming the main concubine, and so my character is her sort of like head of household, and so Mao Mao is the main character, um, and she and Mao Mao have a lot of interactions because she's sort of the intermediary, right? And so yeah, like first season, I think it was more about like Mao Mao and her background as an apothecary and her interactions in court. And then the second season had a lot more to do with being actually in this concubine's house and working for this concubine, and then also her relationship with the lead male actor, the lead male, who ends up, I'm like, spoiler alert, is also the prince. Yeah,
Hey.
so I mean, it's fun. It's one of my favorite anime ever.
So you play a huge role in that.
Yeah, it's a big supporting role. I would say a big supporting role. But she's like, there's the main cast and then there's like secondary cast. She's like in the secondary cast for sure. And next season, we're getting a next season. So next season, I'm hoping that because her concubine is now the lead concubine, I'm hoping there's more there. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, there's more there. There's a lead role there. Let's
Yeah,
go.
it's so funny. I don't read a lot of manga. Um, and so when these shows come out, like when Crunchyroll puts out their release of what's coming out next season, I usually go on YouTube and I look everything up because these are shows I'm going to be reading for or auditioning for, right? And so I try to look everything up and I try to like, but I don't really know much about them. And then also we don't get like the full character list. We get like maybe 5 people to audition for, and then from those people, they kind of plug and chug different voices for other characters. So I didn't know much about the show, but Sean Gann cast me in it because I had worked on other shows for Sean. One of them being a really popular soccer show called Awashi.
Mhm.
And so he plugged me into this one, and it, oh my gosh, ended up being, I get lucky. I get lucky that I become a fan of the work that I'm in without knowing anything about it. Like I watch it like you might watch it for the first time, and I don't know anything about anything outside of what I'm doing, right? And then I watch it and I'm like, this is a really good show. Like this is a fun watch. And so I became a fan of Apothecary Diaries just because I started watching it to kind of figure out what was going on, and who's who and what's what. But yeah, it's that's probably top three of my anime, my favorite all-time anime.
Oh, hey, I ain't even mad at you. And I did see like the first two episodes, but man, I've been so backed up on anime and I've been trying to catch up. Y'all know if y'all don't join the Discord, we're always in there watching anime stuff like that. Link is in the description below. And it's just so much stuff out right now. But big
Yeah,
shout out to Sean Gann too, man. Huge came on the channel, even hooked me up with a lot of stuff, man. Big shout out to him and gave
Sean
me a
is
lot of insight on the community, man. Fantastic, dude. To
Sean is
this
the
day, he
absolute best.
shows the channel so much support, man. Amazing, man. And it's funny because everyone that worked with him that comes on the podcast has nothing but high praises for him. And they be like, yeah, he taught me how to da da da, and he showed
Good.
me this, and it's
He's
like,
good. Well, so like no shade to Crunchyroll or Funimation, but like not that long ago, like 5, 10 years ago, it was a bunch of white folk, right? Like it was a bunch of white folk doing anime. And through the efforts of some of the people who came up through the ranks over the years, so Sean being one of them, Brina Palencia being another, um, there are a few, many others that I'm not even mentioning. You know, there are a lot, but through their efforts, they have introduced a lot of POC cast and POC voices into the mix. And so yeah, there was a big movement in within the organization to introduce a lot of non-white voice actors, and Sean was integral to that. Sean and a few others were integral to that. Yeah.
and I'm gonna be honest with you. And this is like you said, I'm gonna stand on that hill with you. This is no shade, but right now, dubbed anime is the biggest that we have ever seen it.
Yeah.
It's came out not even from Crunchyroll CEO, but Netflix as well said that more people in the world are now watching dubbed anime than ever.
Well, it's
And
gotten
I'm not even gonna lie to you, the acting is phenomenal. The
yeah.
and I'll always say that. And the reason why I put this podcast together and the reason why it's titled Voice of the Heroes, because y'all are the voices behind these heroes and provided talent that I think is magical, being able to capture these moments just with your instruments, just
Mhm.
with, pure, like, man, making us feel the pain that the character is feeling, or, the emotions or the anger. And, if you're playing a villain out there and you got us hating you, then, man, you're a damn good actor
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
and
You're doing a
so
really good job.
yeah, so shout out to you and everybody else that's providing these talents for these characters that we love so much. I gotta thank you for that. This is episode, like I said, is for you and your flowers, and thank you. Because if y'all don't know, this is Women's Appreciation Month. So in the comment section, man, leave some heart emojis, flame emojis, show some love. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about yourself now, right? So,
Okay. I was gonna plug my friend's anime too. My friend Kanisha, she's a black voice actor. And Kanisha, I've got to find the name of this anime, but she's voicing for a long time, black actors in anime were
oh,
underrepresented.
she's voicing on Gachiakada. She's the
Yeah,
new man. She's turning up. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted to get on the show, but I was like, man, she probably ain't gonna follow me back. She ain't gonna even look at my message.
that is not true. If I tell Kanisha, first of all, she's a very good friend of mine. She's my co-producer for the movie I'm working on. Uh,
Ooh, talk that talk. Let's get
yeah,
it.
she's playing Semu on Gachaukuta. I don't know how to pronounce that, but
I
like
think I did for you, Gachiakada. I think now, big shout out to Devon Oliver. He actually put me onto that when it was manga still. He was like, man, he was like,
yeah.
yo, Flea, when this comes out and they adapt this to anime,
Yep.
you're gonna have to watch it. And I'm not. I even got a chance to meet Bryson at Oklahoma Comic Con recently. A wonderful dude, wonderful cast. I'm loving that series. Episode 3. Have you seen it? If
I
you have,
haven't, but I need to.
oh man,
So
please watch it. Episode 3 literally took me by surprise. It's like 12 o'clock. I'm laying in the bed. I said, all right, let me watch episode 3. It's out. That episode almost made me piss on myself. That's how funny it was. It
yeah.
it is a fun. Anime, it still got the action that y'all love,
Yeah.
but comedy wise and story driven, man, is so good. The world building in that is awesome. Yeah, so big shout out to your friend. What's her name? Kanisha?
Kenny Thompson, and that show's being directed right now by Lee George, who's also a phenomenal black voice actor, now director at Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Okay, I love it, man. I love it. All right. Big shout out to all of them. Yeah, we definitely talk after about that. See if we can get on the show because that would be amazing. Hopefully, I could probably get on here for Appreciation Month. But if not, still in all, heroes, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because you never know who might be on the podcast next. But let's get into you now. Let's talk about the person behind the hero. And
Mhm.
let's talk about you studied opera, right? You did a
Mhm.
lot of singing. I'm assuming maybe even some theater in your early age. I don't know, but I'm just assuming the theater part. But did the early side of you, right, the musical side of you, did that draw you to acting,
Mm,
or was you already committed to acting and singing was just like a
mm.
second
That,
nature?
that's a really thoughtful question, actually. So I singing, y- no, I'm not trying to brag or whatever, but singing was something I could do, or at least holding a tune was something I could do before I knew words.
Mm.
And I have a lot of musically talented, but not formally educated people in my family when it comes to music. A lot of people that learn by ear. And so before I could talk, my parents recognized that I had a talent for picking up melodies, by ear, and I would sing these melodies back to them. And so very, very early on, my parents sort of fostered my musical talents. They put me in a youth gospel choir. They put me in voice and piano lessons. I didn't learn much piano. I'm like, it turns out I'm ADD. So never practiced. Um, if it was challenging or whatever, I was like, I'm not gonna do it. A lot of things came easy to me as a kid. And so if it was work, I just didn't do it. And piano was one of those things. But voice was something that I it came easy to me and I was naturally talented, and there were a lot of people that early on fostered my learning to use and manipulate my voice for music. And then, my dad's a New Yorker. He grew up, shout out to
Hey,
Flat
shout out Pops, man. NY, stand up, New York.
My dad was a Flatbush kid, and he used to take school trips, obviously, to Broadway, and like loved Broadway shows. And so like at a young age was introducing me to like shows like West Side Story, Grease, you know what I mean? Like the classics. So that's when I was like, oh, you can like use singing to act. Like that's a vehicle, right? So I started doing little shows, little musicals around town. But the thing that really drew me to film and television, like no lie, the thing that made me want to be an actor was a little show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Hey, and the comic book is coming back out, and they're rebooting the series
Yeah.
again. Let's go.
Zhao is apparently rebooting the series. Hopefully it's good. We'll
Yeah,
see.
they're on set right now. I seen some set photos.
I'm jealous because I definitely sent my manager a ping and was like, get me on this show. I want to be on this show. This is the whole reason I became an actor. But yeah, so like Buffy the Vampire Slayer was the reason I wanted to become an actor. I saw a woman kicking ass on television. I saw her owning her own life. I saw her, you know what I mean? Like, and she was a teenager and she was cool and like all of this, and I just wanted to be her. And I used to like act a lot as a kid too. Also, Wednesday Addams was my spirit animal. Like most girls would dream about their wedding day, and I would be laying on the sidewalk with my arms across my chest pretending to be dead like Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like,
I
and
gotta
now,
ask you, right?
yeah,
Honest opinion though. I love the first season, but I gotta ask you how you feel about the second one so far
I like
on
it.
Netflix. You like
I like
it?
Yeah, I like shows that are not that I like shows that don't do what the audience expects. And it makes them unpopular sometimes, but like as a creative, as a writer, as a person who like works in the industry, I'm glad that they're not doing the easy thing. You know what I mean? Because the payoff, we'll see. We've got 4 episodes left. The payoff might be better, you know? But we don't know that because we're not there yet. So we'll see. But I'm holding, what is the word? Holding my opinion until I watch the last 4 episodes on the season. But yeah, like like when people nominate Oscar movies and then but they're not like popular movies. Like I remember when I was a kid, you know, A Beautiful Mind was nominated, and I had just finished watching White Chicks and thought it was the best thing ever. And I was like, why isn't White Chicks nominated? That movie's hilarious, you know? I'm on the other side of that as an adult, and I'm like, oh, A Beautiful Mind, like it's made for artists, like it's an art film, right? It's not very popular, but it's like made for. And now I'm on the other side of that, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of my preference, you know? So it's, popularity versus like craft. So I'm kind of like on the snobby side now.
Hey, I ain't even mad at you because at the end of the day, as we grow older, our opinions and thoughts change with it. So,
Mhm.
hey, I
Yeah,
feel you on that one.
most entertainment is made for young people because young people are the ones typically stuck at home, like doing all that stuff. So if we can maybe challenge them in ways that they're not being challenged in the world, like I'm here for it.
Yeah, especially through storytelling, because one thing
Especially,
that makes some of these shows so good is the messages that they hide within the action or with the drama, or it's, if you can catch that message
yeah.
and you're watching it and be able to comprehend it, man, that's good storytelling for me. Speaking
Yeah.
of storytelling, let's talk about your projects
Okay.
because you done created some, you got some on the way. You're
Mhm.
doing a lot. Like I said, not even behind the mic, in front of the camera. You're in the director chair, producing, writing. When
Yeah.
did it hit you when you was like, you know what? Okay, I done did the singing bit, I did the voice acting bit. I want to tell my own story now. I want to be the one to, fill out my dreams in a different light.
Wow, you're asking a lot of really good, deep questions. I think always. I
Mm.
think being a Latina, so going back to Buffy, I loved Buffy. Like loved her. I loved that she was the master of her, her future and like was kicking butt and like, you know what I mean? But also, it bothered me that I would look on all of these TV shows that I love because it wasn't just Buffy that I loved. Like I loved Smallville and I loved Star Trek and Star Wars and all these other shows and some of them were like
Wait, for real, Star Trek?
yeah, my dad is a Trekker and so I kind of grew up a Trekker and
Wow, that's actually, I'm impressed. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even
yeah,
trying to, what I mean, hype you up, but it's not too many women you meet. Don't get me wrong, you'll meet a few that love Star Wars. Most of
yeah.
them are Star Wars fans, but
Mm.
Star Trek, even myself, I had to watch it only because of my Uncle John. Shout out
Uh,
my Uncle John, but you used to kill me with that show. But I
I mean,
wasn't even a fan
it,
of it.
it was cheesy kind of, but like, like my dad was the next generation version of Star Trek.
Mm.
And I saw on that show, even though a lot of them were aliens, more diversity than I ever saw in any other show on television. And so, like, that's the thing, right? Like, you're looking at TV. I'm a little girl, I'm watching TV. Like, there's not a lot of people that look like me. And there's not a lot of people from my cultural background representing. And if they are representing, they're almost representing sort of the Euro version, the Eurocentric version of whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Latinos like to claim Latinidad now, but back in the day, we tried to put ourselves as close to like the Spanish European, like straighten your hair, you know what I mean? Light skin, light eyes, as much as possible. Right. And like we didn't have a deep appreciation for our culture as it is now. And so, like, I think always, always, always I wanted to share, um, like, particularly the Puerto Rican diaspora, and what that looks like in those stories. Because we've got people forget Puerto Ricanos are like the first Americans, right? It's like
I
us.
was just having this conversation with somebody.
Yeah, we are like the first Americans, not only because of the indigenous aspect, but the first to be colonialized, right? The first to be. There are so many stories there that are untapped, right?
Oh, so that's where you going with it?
That's what I want to do. I want to tap into early American stories.
I
You know what I
love
want
that.
I want to tap into. There is one of the stories I want to tell is about a chieftain. She was the only female chieftain when Christopher Columbus landed in the Caribbean. Her name was Yuiza. And Yuiza has just this phenomenal story. It's a little bit Pocahontas. It's um, a little bit other, but she, as the islands being colonialized, she had a choice to make, and I want to explore what that looks like. I want to explore what the early, you know um Native American choices were when they were being colonialized, and what that looks. I just think there's so much to tell there. I think there's so much interesting stuff in that is also relevant today. You know what I mean? Like, if you kind of and then another story I want to tell is about the Puerto Rican migration to the States to work and what that looked like. And a lot of people don't realize the Puerto Rican migration to the States to work looked like human trafficking. Because what would they do? They would go to the island, they'd say, come work for me at my like cannery or at my apple picking place or whatever. And they would pay for your trip over, and then they'd stick you in a hut with like 40 other people, and they'd say, okay, now you owe us and you can't leave until you pay us for the trip, for the housing, for the clothes, for the food we feed you. Like, you are stuck here until you can pay this bill. It was basically another form of human trafficking, slave labor. I want to tell those stories. Sorry, this is an anime. This is
Nah,
an
nah, nah. Listen, everybody knows in my community, this podcast isn't based strictly on anime. This ain't just an anime podcast. We talk about all types of things here, comic
yeah,
books.
yeah,
Matter of fact, the next episode, well, no, the episode probably already premiered. It's animal arithmetic with KD Fox. So, she's, from New York, black female telling a story, trying to get her stories out there as well. So
yeah.
we have a lot of diverse stuff on the podcast. So having you break this down and just having this conversation right here, A is 101 right now. I'm not even gonna lie. And it's hyped up to get that type of knowledge because you're telling me stuff right now as I'm listening to you about my own culture that I didn't even know. And I would appreciate seeing on the screen. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been knew about us being one of the first Americans to be colonized and brought over here. Because, like I was
Hmm.
just telling you, I just had this conversation with somebody. I was like,
Hmm.
if anything, this land is as much as ours as anyone else's because of that. But to
Hmm.
hear you go in depth with it and to actually, excuse me, educate us about it, I think it's
Hmm.
phenomenal because we're not hearing these stories. Our kids ain't hearing these stories in schools.
Well, and I think that's what inspires me is I grew up on military bases around the world. My
Mm,
father, when he was 16, he left New York. He joined the army. He spent years as a single young man sowing wild oats, sowing wild seeds, and then he met my mom on the island. They got married. Long story short, here I am, popping around the world on these military bases. And the one thing I didn't have was a close connection to the culture. And so it's really interesting. I always feel like I'm neither from here, neither from there. And so every story that I take in the historical context of it because I want to know everything. I want to know everything about, these stories. And so I come at it from like as a person from the diaspora, but also as a historian. You know what I mean? So like
yeah.
looking more at the facts rather than at the like the word of mouth stories that might have been passed down or like the prejudice that might have been attached to certain things or whatever, you know. And so as a kid watching Star Trek, watching Buffy, watching these shows where I don't see myself represented, you don't see a lot of curly-haired women on television, not even today. And so it's important to me. I really want to um tell those stories not just for me but for all the other little kids out there that look like me and want to see somebody and other people that look like us on television. uh some people, they have to see it to believe that it can happen, right?
True indeed. And
So
you've been heavy voiced on that and amplifying the community, not only with
yeah,
diversity, but also with different genres and genders, the LGBT community, things
yeah.
like that, educating. How do you see changes like that right now in the industry? Have you seen any? Do you see it getting better? Do you see it getting maybe a little worse? Or is it still like not getting no traction.
I will say nerds gonna be nerding. And leading the charge on a lot of these things. Things that were considered not popular 10 or 15 years ago are now like the thing. Like 10, 15 years ago, you wouldn't be caught dead playing D&D. You know what I mean? Now we've got Vox Machina and we've got
Yeah.
what is it?
Critical Roles.
Critical Role and like other shows about D&D. There's, game there's a show a bunch of streamers online that will live stream their missions or their games or whatever. And
That's crazy you said that because as we speak, I'm about to launch one of mine and it's like a Power Ranger type thing that I want to do. And I'm trying to stream it and I have a bunch of people come and it hopefully, man.
I just feel like 10, 15 years ago, like people would be like, I wouldn't be caught dead doing that. And now it's like, I mean, and let's not forget the what is it, demonic, satanic panic of the 90s, of the late 80s and 90s, of people being like, oh, D&D is gonna lead your kid to Satanism, like whatever. Uh, whatever. But like, I think nerds and geeks lead the charge when it comes to culture. I mean, most of us have the tism or are on the spectrum and like don't give a F, forgive my French, but like don't give a crap about what other people think. Like we're just gonna do us. We're the artists, we're the tastemakers, we're the people moving culture forward. And so like in anime, in Marvel, in DC, there are so many people in the LGBTQ plus community. There are so many people that are on the spectrum that are working on these films, that are a fan of these films, that are like so into it. And then like popular culture just kind of catches up, you know? And so I don't think that as a nation, I think that we're kind of in this weird spot where we were progressing and now we're like regressing a little bit.
Mm.
But I like to believe that this is just a blip, and that like it's like an arrow, right? Like if you think of a bow and arrow, like for something to be propelled forward, you have to pull it back first
Oh, I like that
and then
analogy.
release, right? And I just think that like we're building all this tension and pulling back and pulling back. We're building all this tension. We're experiencing all of these things. There are things that we thought could never happen that have happened, and all these stories that are going to come out of that, that once we release the arrow, it's going to be a lot of stories that people didn't know they needed to hear, you know,
Speaking of
especially.
stories, right? What themes or stories do you think are missing from the film industry or TV?
um I'll tell you what we're getting a lot of when it comes to minority voices. Like I think we're getting a lot of immigrant porn, and I think we're getting a lot of um you know, the stories regarding Black culture typically tend to be a little bit like on the painful side. Like, yeah, those stories need to be told, like Emmett Till and the story about the New York Five, things like that. But like, I think that the stories that I'm more interested in are like stories rooted in joy. I think that's why Superman was so incredible. Like, okay, you talked about the Snyderverse and Snyderverse fans and why they're all up in a tizzy, but you have to remember 20 years ago, the worst thing that was happening to us was the housing bubble, right? Like 20 years ago, the worst thing that was happening to us as a country was the housing bubble. By and large, people were like okay culturally, right? Like culturally, we were all right. We were okay. The kids were okay. Like we were gonna get out of it. It was fine. But now we've gotten so much real life stuff that's beating us down. We need joy in film and television again. And it's something that like after World War II, that's why shows were like super cheesy back then because they needed that. It was like they're recovering from war, from trauma. Then we get Vietnam, they're recovering from war, from trauma. So like we needed cheese and we needed joy and we needed happy endings because culturally life was hard. And if film and television is an escape, if manga is an escape, if anime is an escape, we need things that bring us joy, right? Whereas 20 years ago, like things weren't that hard. I mean, we were there was stuff happening, but by and large, the people that were in charge were like handling it kind of, right? And now nobody's handling anything. The house is on fire, everything's flooded, people are losing everything, people are being deported, they're being arrested, they're being whatever. It's getting hard. Life is hard. We can all agree things are hard. We need joy. And that's why I think this shift between Snyderverse to Gunnerverse is a shift towards joy. Because even if you look at Peacemaker, Peacemaker is really dirty and very vulgar, but still full of joy. You know what I mean? So
And I
I think
think you can have both. I really think, and for everybody that got your panties up in a bunch, just listen. Um, Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow, that's gonna be a different tone. You got a
completely
Clayface
different.
film coming out
Oh,
that's
Clayface is dark.
horror. Yeah.
Yes.
So the Snyderverse, I understand some parts y'all gonna miss, but what y'all about to get is gonna be greatness. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be. And mind you, I'm a Marvel fan. I love
Mm,
Marvel. I'm a huge Power Ranger fan, things like that. But DC always holds a special place for me because I grew up with Batman the animated series. I grew up with the cheesy Batman movies where there was nipples on the suits, y'all. I'm not even lying to you. There was nipples on Batman suits back in the day, bro. Like
Burton with the
these,
penguin and the yeah, and like Arnold as the
yeah, Arnold, Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
oh my God,
These,
Jim Carrey was a great Riddler though. You
yeah,
can't
he
tell me
was. It
that.
was. That's
Jim
all.
Carrey was a great Riddler.
That's all I'm saying. Like I grew up in a fun era. I think if you're an '80s baby, '90s kid, you got the
Yeah.
most out of life. And I do agree. There's still some things we're missing. And let me ask you this, right? When we was younger,
Mhm,
Saturday morning cartoons was the shit. Like
mhm.
it's time to grab a bowl of cereal, sit in front of the TV. I think that's missing now. Do you feel like streaming played a huge part of that? And do you feel like regular TV programming is gonna die sooner than we expected? Because it's still hanging on because of the live events and basketball, football, news, things like that. But now we're seeing with this new NBA contract that a lot of basketball games are going to Amazon Prime. We got
Yeah,
events happening on Netflix now,
right.
and
Like live things on
yeah,
yeah,
live things.
maybe look, I think nostalgia is real. I just read a study the other day of kids now that think texting is cringe. They prefer to be on the phone or FaceTiming. They think texting is cringe, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
feel the same way.
um, I think nostalgia is real. And I think that if a network can tap into, do you remember TGIF?
Of course.
Right?
I mean, Family Matters. You had a bunch of
I,
stuff on there.
I think if a network can tap into the nostalgia of something like TGIF and make it weekly and make the kids have to wait, like we used to have to wait every week, I think the viewership would go up for cable television.
I think so too, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. You know who could really do it right now? I think Disney can do it. If Disney had multiple shows, because mind you, they just got the Power Rangers back, right? X
Yeah.
Men '97. No matter what, every Wednesday, it was
If
a thing to talk about.
yeah, if they had a Friday night block or like like a Thursday night block that was like you get this, you get that, and you get that in a row, bam, 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 right? Every week, once a week for like 10 weeks, I think viewership would go up. I
Yeah,
think it
I agree. I agree.
would.
I actually got to agree with you on that. Now I don't got too much time
Yeah.
left, so yeah, we're gonna move on to a couple of more segments. We can't kidnap her for too long.
Yeah.
So the next segment, oh, I can't even talk right now. The next segment is called "Say the First Thing That Comes to Mind." I give
Uh,
you a sentence. You just say the first thing that comes to mind. And the first one is best anime of all time is.
Attack on Titan.
Let's go. The saddest anime death of all time is.
Eren Yeager on Attack on Titan.
I binge way too much.
Apothecary Diaries.
Best anime opening song of all time is.
Oh God, there's so many. There's so many absolute bangers. Um, I don't know. know.
Do you like Dan the Dan had a good one? I think Dan the Dan was good.
The first one of Attack on Titan, some of the ones on Apothecary Diaries, some of the ones on like
Naruto had a couple of fire
yeah,
ones.
like some of them like when they change every season, and some of them are like fire. Like let me put them on a Spotify playlist, and some of them I'm like skip. I don't like it. Uh, it's really hard for me, and I don't remember what they're called. I just know that I like this season's version of that thing intro for that show.
Hey, I respect it. Okay, now the last one will be, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. The last one will be an anime character I would 100% date is
Mm. Mm. Oh, I like the Moody Boys. I like the real Moody Boys. You know what's hilarious? Okay, this one's actually kind of a child, but my friend Brina voices him. It's Black Butler. The voice of Black Butler is voiced by a woman who's my friend. But I'm like, I like how moody he is. And
hey, I love it.
if I
Okay,
was
I
a
like that one.
like, I'd be like, if I was like 16, I'd be like, let's make him my boyfriend.
All right, now the next part of the episode, this segment is called recommendations. It's basically for the community. You're gonna give us a recommendation. It could be anything. It could be a song, a book, a manga, anything that meant something to you. It can even be a line from something that stuck with you. They're gonna have to go check it out. Come back, leave a comment on it, and if y'all do, you will enter our giveaway. And at the milestone of 5K, we will be giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 or a PlayStation 5. Now, please, I will never ask you for no shipping money. So in the comment section, don't get scammed. I will message you on Discord after I announce the winner on our 5K milestone video. So give us a recommendation.
This is gonna come out of nowhere. Uh, Formula One racing.
Oh, is that the movie? The one that just came out?
No, that's the actual
The game?
sport. The sport.
Oh, the
Formula One
sport.
sport. I'm a huge F1 fan. And I don't
Mm.
know too many women. I'll be real. I don't know too many lady folk who are into racing. And I would love to find a community of women who were into racing like as bad as me, as bad as I am. So really this is just an excuse for me to find a community of like-minded hoes who want to watch hot guys race around in circles.
So, community, go check out, find with any Facebook groups, something, man, Discords. Come
Comment,
back, leave a comment on the video and let us know. Are there any girls out there that's into F1 and has a group, man? Cause
baby. But like book wise, I read a lot of romantasy books. I know there are a lot of women that are into that too. Uh, and I would like to say, any if there are any Akotar fans, please come find me too, because I can go down a rabbit hole on that as well.
hey, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, now we get to our universal questions. These two questions are basically universal. I ask all my guests these questions. One of them are, who are your top five fictional characters of all times? You can go books, movies, TVs, mangas, any. It could be just top
Well,
five fictional characters.
Buffy,
Yeah, I was
hello.
about to say, gotta put Buffy up there.
Like way, way up there. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love Ahura
A
from
horror.
Star Trek. Obviously, Ahura and Spock forever. Um, let's see. Top five. I really dig top five characters from of all time. Um, gosh, the classics. Who are some of the like deep cut classics? Uh,
What kind of genres you into? Science
so
fiction.
yeah, but like 1800s classics.
Oh, you
Like
going back.
Jane, yeah. What is it?
I can't remember no fictional characters back that far, but like maybe
Yes.
Zorro.
Sorry, not
Hey, that's the only one I remember like that is Zorro.
Yeah, no, there's a book called Pride and Prejudice that I've read every version and watched every version on film and television. And there's a relationship, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy are like the OG. OG. They're like the Romeo and Juliet. They're like, I mean, Romeo and Juliet was probably earlier. I don't know, but yeah, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy. They'll count as one.
All
And then
right.
let's do somebody recent, modern, cool. Characters of all time. Let's do Princess Peach.
Peach.
Princess Peach. Yeah.
Hey, I ain't even mad at Princess Peach. That's a good one, actually. How did you feel when Nintendo came out with that statement and said like Mario and Princess Peach ain't a thing? Like,
That's a lie.
yeah, that's
That's
crazy, right?
a faced lie. That's just there's no way a guy's gonna sacrifice his whole everything to save just a friend. I'm sorry. No. I've been playing those games since I was like, when did Nintendo come out? How old was I? Like 5. I had an older brother, so he had a system. And I've been playing those games since forever. And once we could Mario Party, I was always Princess Peach. Like, you know what I mean? Like Princess Peach, just no. Like they're just trying to be modern. You know what I mean? Modern. But oh, and then like let's say like a Disney character. So like an OG Disney character. I always loved how badass Pocahontas and Mulan were.
Oh,
So
which one?
Pocahontas or Mulan. Well, Mulan was a warrior. She was cool. She was like fighting back and stuff.
I
She was
really like Mulan's story
dressing.
too.
Yeah, she was cross dressing to save her kingdom. Like I'm down for that. So yeah, Mulan. I say
All
Mulan.
right. So now this one's gonna get a little harder. The list is gonna get shorter, and it's gonna be a little different. Who are your goats of the goats? What is your Mount Rushmore of voice actors? People
Okay.
inspired you, your
Yeah.
peers.
Yeah. So Brina Palencia, if you don't know who that is, she voiced uh she voices oh my God. They're doing I'm so bad with what is this what's this live action that's on Netflix now?
One Piece.
One Piece. She's the little mushroom headed thing.
Oh, Chopper.
She's Chopper. She's Chopper in the anime. She's Chopper. And like and not on Netflix, but like on the anime. She's the voice of Chopper. And she's like been my friend since 2005.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah. So she's the reason I got into anime. So she
Man, you
definitely
got a lot of goated friends.
well, I just happen to be look, I luck, lucky. I just literally, no, literally lucky. If I tell you the story of how I met Brina, Brina and I were in the same vocal program at UNT. I was studying opera. She was getting a bachelor's of arts in music, in vocal, whatever. She was in her 5th year as a student. I was a freshman. I had severe stage fright, like the worst stage fright. Never had it before. Never had stage fright before, but suddenly I come to this, like I said, I never worked hard for anything, like ever. Things came easy to me. And so I went to college and I was like looking around going, oh my God, everybody's so good. Like, and they work hard. And I don't. And I'm learning everything from ear and I'm going to get left behind and I'm not going to make it. Like, I'm not going to cut it. And so I just like developed the worst stage fright. And Brina
Mm.
was there for all of that. And she was super encouraging. And she was at the time already working for Funimation doing Dragon Ball Z. And like, she was like, I think you'd be really good at anime. Like, you have a really good voice. I think you'd be really good at anime. And I'm like, I don't know anything about anime other than like Pokemon. You know what I mean? And like, whatever animated series I watched when I was a kid, like X-Men, oh, Rogue, hello. I really like badass women. Can you tell? But like, but I don't like I only want like you know what I mean? Or like Bugs Bunny. I don't know. Like what is anime? And so she kind of brought me into the fold and again, it was luck. I just happened to meet her. She happened to be a fan of mine as far as like supporting me. She happened to think that I'd be good at this thing and she kind of coached me into it. So her, Sean Gann, Megan Shipman, Caitlin, Caitlin. Oh gosh, what's Caitlin's last name? Caitlin. Hi,
Caitlin
Caitlin.
Glass.
Caitlin Glass, who I met not doing anime. Caitlin and I used to do Wild West reenactment together. It's
Mm.
just being in the right place at the right time. Do you know what I mean? And then the last person I will say, this man has my heart. Get well soon. We hope you're doing great, Mike McFarland.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fire list. I ain't even mad at you. I gave you a little extra because of your peoples.
Yeah. If I have to kick someone else off,
No, no,
Sean.
no. They might watch this. I don't want you
No,
like
no,
you
no.
kick me
Sean,
off.
I'll kick him off. Sean knows he's my boy. He's my boy.
Damn, Sean, she done kicked you off the list, gang.
Because he knows he'll get a big fat hug from me later. It'll be fine. It'll be.
All right.
This is my boy.
All right, so that is the end of our episode. Thank you so much for coming on. I had a fantastic time. And thank you so much for all the talent you provided in all of these wonderful shows and for all the content that you're about to give us and have gave us, man. This is for you. This is your flowers. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming on once again. And heroes, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, we got the giveaway going on. Make sure you go check out that recommendation. Well, it was actually two. Go find the girls with the F1 fetishes. Let us know where them groups are. And what was the other one? I think a book, right?
It's a series. Hey, you
Hey.
should read it.
Oh, I don't know.
You should read. Hey,
I
I know a lot of men that have read the series and they think it's my dad. I put my dad on the series. I'm like, Dad, read this. It's really
Man,
good.
I'm not gonna lie though, but if it's the books
I
that
could
I'm
be back
thinking
later.
about, man, I can't read them books like that, man. It's troublesome after reading it.
So, yeah, I'm like, here, Dad, read the books. They're really good. I don't want to talk to you about it, but I think you'll enjoy the books. Here.
I wonder if he ever text you like, "What the fuck was this?"
Sometimes I send him recommendations. Like, I'm really into a band called Paco Amoroso and what is it? Paco Amoroso and Paluma, something like this. There's this band from Argentina. They have like really great music. And I turned him on to their NPR or whatever. He's like, what are these little freaks? These guys are fun. And I'm like, my dad is just like, so I turned him on to a lot of stuff and then I just kind of leave it. I kind of like leave it and then walk away, you know? I'm like, I want to talk about it, but here.
Hey, that's awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. Let people know where to follow you at on social media, and if you got any upcoming conventions or projects you're able to talk about.
Oh yeah. So I just signed a convention rep. I will be doing my first convention TBD. I don't know where it is or where it's gonna be. But like if you follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, it's just my name, Giovannie Cruz. It's Gio, V as in Victoria, A, N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, IE, last name Cruz, like Penelope, not like Tom. So if you follow me on all my social medias, I'll make the announcements. I'm also coming out in a large video game franchise. It's coming out in
Oh,
September.
let's go.
So that'll be out in September. But yeah, like follow me on the socials. I will post when these things come out and hopefully it'll be fun stuff. I got a lot of new fans after Superman came out and it's been really fun engaging with people and everyone's been cordial so far. So like yeah, really been enjoying like interacting with people. And so looking forward to doing it in person at a convention one day soon.
As what's up, heroes? Make sure y'all go like, comment, and subscribe to everything she got going on. Links will be in the description below. This has been our episode with Giovannie Cruz. Thank you so much once again. And as always, heroes, don't forget to love yourself, pass that love on, and love others. And if nobody told you so, just know your boy love you. Voice of the Heroes signing out.